a legal personality that can be sued or that could sue, and no longer a self-serving platform. And from the stories emerging after that development yesterday, factional leader of Ohaneze Ndigbo General Assembly, Basil Onyachalam, has warned that Ndigbo may resort to self-help in handling security challenges in leveling the zone. Now, he called on the President Muhammadu Buhari to address the issue of insecurity so that people would not resort to self-help. His address obtained by newsmen in Anambra yesterday, and he maintained that he had come to restructure the socio-cultural organization Ohaneze Ndigbo. Away from that story, the factional acting national chairman of APC, Victor Giedom, handed over yesterday to the new National Working Committee of the party. Now, he called on his colleagues in the dissolved National Working Committee to learn from their mistakes. Remember, a meeting was held yesterday, and the party, of course, is perhaps on its way to being unified. Yes, with the new development that we have. The chairman, caretaker, extraordinary National Convention Planning Committee of the party is now Governor May Malabuni, and he asked party leaders and members to prepare ahead for real change, as well as the consequences that would come with those expected changes. Now, away from that story, former chairman of Nsukka local government area, Patrick Omeje, who died recently, has been replaced. Now, he was replaced in line with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria by Cosmas Ugwueze, and Cosmas was sworn in as the chairman of Nsukka local government area yesterday at the government house in Enugu. Ugwueze, who until his elevation was a deputy chairman of Nsukka LGA, thanked Governor Gwanyi for the confidence reposed on him. He equally promised to bring dividends of democracy to his people and harmonize cooperation between the executive and legislative arms of the local government area, and equally provide security of lives and property in the council area. We'll be back shortly with the main topic of discussion on Political Voices. 92.5 Enugu's Dream FM. Stay with us. Thank you for staying with us on Political Voices. It's 92.5 Enugu's Dream FM. Unfolding developments in Ohaneze Ndigbo socio-cultural organization. The issues. My name is Ezinne Aninwe. I have with me here in the studio Dr. Okay, not doctor now. I wanted to give you doctor because you bear the same name, but he will join us soon. Chukwuma Ifremokenwa is here, Executive Director, Lead Network. Thank you for coming. Good morning.
Yeah, thank you. Good morning. Easy.
Yes, and we also are on the Facebook page. We're streaming live on Facebook 925 Dream FM, the Twitter handle at Dream 925 FM. The YouTube address is Dream TV Enugu. You should join us there. Let me begin this way. When we talk about socio-cultural groups, the Igbos are not left alone with it. We have it in different other zones. You talk about the Odwa People's Congress, you talk about Arewa Consultative Forum, you talk about many others, now Ohaneze Ndigbo. And usually what we hear is the role they should play in unifying the voices of the people of that zone. So let's understand better the roles that they actually play in terms of governance, in terms of advancing the welfare of the people.
Let me start by observing that necessity is the mother of innovation, and one particular thing that is common to all of these platforms is that necessity gave rise to it. For instance, the Ohaneze Ndigbo, which first started as Igbo National Assembly, came into view as a result of the Biafran War, the Nigeria Civil War. The way the Igbos were treated, we ostracized, rights denied, and then to provide a common front, to better negotiate for a space for Ndigbo. it came into play, and of course, which eventually became Ohaneze and Ndigbo in 1976. And then you also now have the Odua People's Congress that came in immediately after the annulment of the election, Abiola's election in 1993.
Yes.
As a way like to give a voice to our brothers in the southwest. And then you also now have the Arewa People's Congress that followed thereafter. And to them they say it was perceived that the Odua People's Congress was actually oppressing the Hausa Fulanese, across Nigeria, and so they came up with that as a response. And of course, you have Pandef. So it's been like, as a matter of fact, an inalienable right of people to self-determination, to be able to decide how they want to live, to be able to have a common front to negotiate their destiny within a certain space, either it be within a nation, right, or within a union, maybe at the level of African Union, or perhaps even at the level of the United Nations, you understand? So it's a common right for people to have that right to self-determination, come together under a common platform for both social reasons, right, and of course political reasons, to ensure that their voice matter and that they gather the needed political clout to ensure that they make a statement when the time comes.
Well, one word stood out, self-determination, while you were talking. We also have with us in the studio Dr. Nnamdi Okenwa, Senior Lecturer, Mass Communication Department, ESUT. He's as well a public affairs analyst. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Ezinne. Thank you very much.
Okay, so we are looking at the roles that socio-cultural groups play. Ohaneze Ndigbo is one of that, which is actually our focus today. Then we have different other socio-cultural groups in other zones. To your mind, what are the roles that they play, and can you outline
the
them?
innate desire for all these groupings is they desire a voice. They want to be heard. But whether that voice will be heard will depend very, very much on the composition of these groups. Who make them up? Are they agreed? Are they agreeable partners? Are they of the same class? Their reasoning, is it the same? Their economic power, because economic power, whether you like it or not, it matters a lot. And so you find that they evolved. Let's put it this way. It should have started from the town unions, where they have the leaders of the town unions, and you have the traditional rulers. And I want to put it straight so that we get a lot of things clear why things are not going the way they should be going. We have mentioned the Arewa people, the Odua people, the Ohaneze, the Southeast, the South people. You find that one thing that counts very much is who are these traditional rulers. If you go to the West, whether it's the Alake of Abeokuta, whether it's the Awujale of Jebode, whether it's the Timi of Ede, whether it's the Lubado of Ibado, you find that these are all the Oni of Ife. These are learned people who have substance. When you are learned and you have substance, you have voice. Come to the Southeast. What weakens Ohaneze, I want to put it blunt this time around, is that the traditional rulers we have, we still run a system where our traditional rulers, there are some old men who don't have voices. Why don't they have voices? They don't have money. And most of them depend on palliatives from the governors. And so you find that they're not reckoned with very, very much. So even the Ohaneze doesn't have the strength it should have, because if it had harnessed all these other elements, it would have been a stronger body. But Ohaneze is made up of some weak elements. And two, I want to be very blunt this morning. There has not been that harmony between the Ohaneze and those who call themselves the Igbo leaders. There are leaders who call themselves Igbo leaders. Whatever the standards, whatever makes them that, I don't know. But you find that Ohaneze does not agree very, very much with the governors. The governors, there is some rivalry, whether you want to believe it or not. The governors believe that they're in charge. Their voice should be what determines what happens in the areas where they belong. So it may not be very obvious, but there is some not a perfect agreement between the governors, the Akajiakos, right, and those who have been selected to lead the Ohaneze. So they said they're not organized. They're not organized. So you find that the struggle my brother called self-determination, which will have been at the forefront of it, is lost. That's why if we say we are winning, is a lie. Even IPOB has had several. There are voices now, different voices, clamoring for different things, going to several places, making moves that at times appear embarrassing to a lot of people when you hear what is happening. So you find that the essence of these groupings, so to say, is to give people a voice, and if there is any request they are making, they will see how they will actualize that. But I don't think it's going on well.
All right, CEO. Well, just like Dr. Kinwa said, the essence of social cultural groups is to give the people a voice. Now, even with the case of Ohaneze and Ndigbo, or you're looking at them generally, would you say they've really given the people a voice, or would you say it's it's a play of personal interest?
Well, of course, I would say they have given us voices because, of course, it's a well-established fact that the Igbos are quite Republican in nature, and it's always been a tax at all levels, both at the level of traditional institutions, to put our people together, to get people to agree. And just like Dr. Kenwa cited instances of the governors in the southeast, their attitude towards this, they believe they control the resources, but it ought not to be so. If this is our own thing, if this is our common front, then everybody should be able to align with it. If you believe you're a governor of the state in the southeast, all the governors should be able to fund this, support, come up with their own ideas, and see how we are going to put that as a platform to negotiate all we need to get within the Nigerian space. For instance, 2023 is by the corner, and you even have many Igbos that believe that it will be ambitious, and we're out of place to talk about Igbo presidency. And you keep wondering, you understand, rotation is in equity. I mean Igbos count. I don't really believe that we are the third largest. I believe Igbo might actually be the most populous in Nigeria, you understand, in the real sense, because we have our people spread across even beyond Nigeria. So our ability to be able to look at it at all levels, you're a governor, you should be able to align. You are into activism, and whatever thing you do, you should be able to align. And that is why particularly I keep wondering, anytime I have opportunity to listen to Mazen Nandakano, I keep wondering, who is he actually fighting for? Is he actually the Igbo interest? Because you keep attacking anything Igbo, anything that represents the interest of our people. You attack the pan-Igbo platform, which is Ohaneze and Ndigbo. You attack the Igbo elites, the Igbo leaders, the Igbo elders, and then does that mean that even if you get the Biafra, you're the only one that will leave? You understand? So I think there is a basic problem of really coming together as a people if we want to have a voice. Because when you have different voices, different places, this one is speaking different thing, there is nobody that will take us seriously. So I believe and I think all the voices should be able to come together. And first, let it not be heard any place again in Igbo land, maybe where someone will say, don't go out to vote, this, and then maybe somewhere along the middle, you can now vote. And then by then, people probably did not even register at all. The only way you can negotiate, you can show that you have a voice, is by the voting process. By saying, okay, we've been able to build a cluster, and if this is not able to done, that is your negotiating instrument. But I've not been able to see much of that. When you look at previous elections, past two elections, the Igbo votes are always the lowest in the land, and it ought not to be so.
Dr. Kenwa, why do we hear different voices? Why do we hear so many voices rather than one unified voice?
Good. You will hear different voices because there are different people. The orientations are different. The level of enlightenment different. Their economic standing different. So there are bound to be different voices. Now let me give you an instance. Let me give you an instance again. If you go to the north, take stock. All the emirs, they are either well educated or they are either retired generals in the army. They are all well educated. Go to the west, you will find all the Obas and all the Onis very well educated. Look at the Oni of Ife, for example. Do you know that his father is still alive? The throne came to his family. The father knew he didn't have the economic muscle. He didn't have the exposure. He didn't have the kind of clout that was needed for the position. He told me, my son, come and take it. And he's occupying the position fine. But you find that in Igbo land, forgive me, when I talk about when we come down to the southeast, for example, we can't think of too many. Think of the Obi of Onitsha. You won't find a few others. You won't find many others who are as enlightened as he is. You find some old men who have never even traveled out of their domain. They don't even know the state capitals. They have never been attended. If you invite them for a meeting, the governor calls them. Some don't even go. So you find that if those who are enlightened begin to take position, then that's where there will be some kind of commonality of the voice that will make known. But now there are people who don't have a voice. That is what the Igbos will say. So for you to be able to have a voice, you must be somebody, either you're educated, or you have the means, or you are politically conscious. There are many who are not. So you find that that is where we have disparaging voices here and there, and there is no kind of cohesion. So really, no doubt about that. The role that these groups should be playing, they should have been the hope we would have had to give this country direction. But the notes are discordant and we don't seem to be getting somewhere. This people is singing a different song, the other group is singing a different song. We don't know where we're going. So there's still hope for us, because when we begin to have discussions like this, when people now know if you are going to hold a position somewhere, know that at some point you go out to represent your people. You can't represent people when you don't know what is going on, when you don't know what you really want. So until we have leaders who now come together and can agree to have a voice, that's when this voice will make meaning. But at the moment now, honestly, they are not organized. And what is creating problem? Look at, let me take the word Ohaneze. Let me forget, I don't know about the Odudu words and the rest of them, what their names mean. Ohaneze means the rest of the people plus the kings, right? Good. So it means the different interests who have been represented. The youths, right? Those who have money, those who have ideas to contribute, bring them together and then table the major issues, and they will know how to guide, how to handle the issues. But at the moment, we haven't had that cohesion, and that's why things are not working the way they should be working.
All right, you're listening to Political Voices on 92.5 Enugu's Dream FM, unfolding development in Ohaneze and Ndigbo, the issues. CEO, this is not the first time we are hearing of a split or a crack or crisis, so to say, in this socio-cultural group, Ohaneze and Ndigbo. What bothers you?
Well, I think I would want to attribute this recent one to some of the recent moves by the southern leaders. You know, the recent suit against the presidency with respect to the lopsidedness in the appointments. But then, I also have a great concern with respect to the CAC being able to middle in such a sinister manner for a case involving a foremost apex group in Igbo land that have long existed. I'm aware that in registering a civil organization, a civil society, there are necessary steps, and part of it could be first to do a name search. And looking at how formidable Ohaneze and Ndigbo is, it doesn't require a name search. You already know that it is there. We are talking about a people. You can't expect anybody one day to claim to have registered Nigeria and be the board, you understand, the board of directors or the board of trustee chairman. This, you are talking about a people, and they have that right to assembly, they have that right to association. And another thing again is that even if you want to go about the process of registration, you talk about newspaper publications on 2 national dailies, and then also to be published in a local newspaper, so that if there are people that have counterclaims, they can come up with it. And that's what makes it corporate, you understand. But for a corporate affairs commission to allow such to happen, I see it as...
Do you think they went through these processes you listed?
No. They didn't. So it really shows that, you know, this is like some people amongst us collaborating with powers that be to destabilize the Igbos.
To what intent do you think it is?
I mean, of course, like most of the things we'll be talking about here now, you understand, our politicians always think of the next election. And I think, to me, it largely has to do with Igbo presidency 2023. Because if you look at it the way like it is now, like a well-written, unwritten constitution at the heart of everybody, rotation has been accepted as equity. And if that be the case, then 2023 should not be negotiable as long as Igbo presidency is concerned. It should be the right of the Igbos to rule this country by 2023. But when you look at like some conversations, you understand, among like the major parties, it does appear that it's not even something that should come up. And what is even very painful is when you begin to hear like some leading voices in Igbo land speaking against it also. And that is why like I think it's high time for us to really call a spade, right? And part of it is to say that any Igbo man that have long stayed in this country, please, if we stay in one Nigeria up to 2023, and anybody from nowhere, probably someone that is not even living within the country, comes and tell you to, don't even vote in elections 2023, you know, we should not be thinking about how to rule Nigeria, Igbo presidency. It should be Brexit, you know, or Biafra exit and all the rest of it. I mean, it doesn't make any sense, because even before Great Britain exited, you understand, they played some key roles in the European Union. And that should be like, you know, that makes lots of sense. But like Brexit has dominated conversations for years now, you understand. It happened in part. It's not even fully implemented. But then they still have like that alliance, you understand. So there are processes to go about a thing. And I think it's time for us to really open our eyes, shine our eyes well. And I want to say that looking at the whole thing, like... because look at like the person that came up with this registration, Mr. Basil. I looked at his profile and I was wondering, who is he? You understand? Where does he stand in Igbo land to be able to like initiate such? And then when you also talk about the traditional ruler, you know, who has got his back, the question is of what significance is his palace in Igbo land? You know, that kind of thing. Can he be able to like counter standing positions like the likes of Obi Onisha and all the rest, those whose Ohaneze and Ndigbo have the endorsement? Dr.
Kenwa, when you saw the news about this faction or this split in Ohaneze and Ndigbo, how did it come to you?
It's not new. This is not the first time they have factions all along. Because the truth is this, like my brother said, each time there is a leader, you will always wish it were you. There are people who feel, look, I'm better than this guy. I will even do better. And the only way to establish that is by shouting. Form another splinter group, showing that you can guide this group in along a better direction. But you see, one thing about us, when I say us now, I think I talk about the Igbo people. The Americans will tell you, you got a problem. We got a problem. We really got a problem. Our problem is not a bad thing. We have pride. Ego, we have it there. The I can spirit is there. The me spirit, I, is there. Why should it be this person and not me? So you find that it's just like when you walk into a meeting, you find that somebody you don't like is talking. You listen to him. Well, you just listen. You're not listening, but he's just talking, and then your hand is up. What else do you say? I don't agree with what he has said. I don't know, but I don't agree. He has not said anything. He has not even understood where the person is going. All he says, I don't agree. Don't let him sit down. I don't agree with what you say. Say your own now. He will say. We are like that. This has been our fate all this while. Because if we study an issue and follow it well and come to a conclusion and say, okay, this is our voice. But he put it well. We are voices. We may never stop having voices, right? Until reason comes into it. And when we ask ourselves, we've been here for a long time. How well have we fared? Where else can we go? How do we go there? We need a leader. There's one item I saw recently that 1,000 sheep led by a cow, led by a lion, and 1,000 lions led by a sheep. You find the group that wins is the group where one lion is leading 1,000 sheep, but where a sheep is leading 1,000 lions, it won't work. So you find that we need to have a clear-cut lion leading us so that we'll get to the El Dorado, because we're getting somewhere. We're not comfortable where we are. There's no doubt. We're not comfortable. We're not comfortable. So I do know.
You're listening to Political Voices on 92.5 Enugu's Dream FM. Another question is, how do we galvanize these many voices from singing discordant tunes to singing harmonious tunes? Because, like I said earlier during the introduction, Ndigbo believes in Igwebike, and if we are not galvanizing these voices to sound a harmonious tune, then it becomes a problem. Rather than the group meeting the aim for which it was set, it would just be dancing or singing another tune that would be detrimental to the development of the Southeasterners. You're listening to Political Voices on 92.5 Enugu's Dream FM. Join the conversation on the Facebook page 925 Dream FM, the Twitter handle at Dream925FM, and the phone lines are open 0809 8888 or 0902 0020 Yes, we're looking at unfolding developments in Ohaneze and Ndigbo, the issues on the Facebook page. Join us there. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Welcome. What's your name, sir?
Yeah, my name is Ohaneze. I'm calling from my people.
Ohaneze, go ahead.
Yeah. Now, when we start like Ohaneze, I think the Ohaneze, generally they are very good people. Honestly, and my brother there is talking about Igbo presidency, and I want to ask, is it the Igbo president or Igbo president that is controlled by Fulani people? The way good-looking man was controlled by Fulani people, and he did nothing, almost nothing for his people. Because all of us know that they are the ones that determine what is happening in this country. Look at, we are doing things every day. Not even anybody from Ohaneze and Ndigbo has come out to condemn it. Not even our governors has come out to condemn this. We are not condemning the guy. The guy is only sending the word of truth. Because the elders you're talking about, none of them has ever come out to condemn our bloody daughters like Islam. And you are now trying to be against him. Just now nobody is talking in Nigeria. He is there talking for us.
Well, thank you.
Have you yourself come out to condemn the killing of innocent people?
Leave and let others leave. Yeah. Let others have the conversation on Political Voices as well. Thank you very much for understanding. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Ezinne.
Thank you for joining us. Your name is?
My name is Obi.
Obi, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from.
Go ahead, please.
Okay. You see, Ohaneze is a pan-Igbo cultural movement and not a political movement. Now, when we now lose the agenda of athletics, we're going to have statements. Now, people who come to their political motivation, which will contradict the cultural pan-Igbo movement. Obviously, we throw spanners into the wheel of progress in Ohaneze. Now, yes, we need a strong leadership revolution. And anyone who can achieve that, we got on the Igbo heritage. And somebody who is about the street culture. And then people will not fall into line. Those who come in with the intent of their motivations, you will be kept behind my own interest.
All right. Thank you very much for your contribution, Obi. 0809 888 or 0902 20925. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you for joining us. What's your name, sir? Chima. Where are you calling from this morning? Go ahead, please.
If you use this program,
I think we lost that call.
Hello?
Okay, we still have you here. Go ahead.
every single song and I will tell you that this singer good to overdo. We don't need the under the word or unless the political mankind. So we need to change the word. What we tell you was the party to vote and the person to vote in the election. We don't need it the word. When the word has destroyed our everything. So we will support this no group. If we get all our support, we have a tool. We were happy. We don't need it the word every day.
Thank you very much. We heard you. We heard you loud and clear. Ugwanyi Valentine Chijoke from Nsukka will read a comment shortly. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, Ezinne, good morning.
Welcome.
Thank you. Good morning to the guest in the studio. This is Ezinne. I'm calling from Nsukka.
Go ahead.
Ezinne, let's get this thing straight. Dr. Kema has said it all. He has said the actual thing there. Look at the problem we have in Igbo land. We don't have big masquerades. When we're choosing leaders, we make this mistake of looking for a right person, a man with integrity, who can galvanize, who is good in public speech. No, you need a masquerade. Surround him with the kind of Ahithophel, men with wisdom. But you need a man with the power, financial muscle, a man with a lighting, who can go out there and speak. Not these people who go to governors looking for palliative, as he rightly said. Look at our traditional rulers. How many traditional rulers in Igbo land work their sword? Please, how many of them work their sword? Sorry to say it. When it's time to choose leaders, we make this mistake, we politicize it, instead of choosing somebody who has the means, who has the capital, who has the wherewithal, who is enlightened, who is exposed, so that he can lead others. When you choose such a leader, he might not be other to wonderful in the area of character. What do? Surround the person with the intelligence, so they will be supplying intelligence for leadership. So in Igbo land, what we need now is to choose a leader, somebody who is exposed and enlightened to lead us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nana. Ugwanyi Valentine Chijoke from Nsukka says, good morning. The splitting of Ohaneze and Ndigbo leadership, or the splitting you meant to say of Ohaneze and Ndigbo leadership, is uncalled for and must be condemned. This will bring setback in the championing of Igbo agenda. I urge the political leaders in the southeast, the academia, the blessed businessmen and the traditional rulers to come together and rectify this emanating crisis before it becomes late. Please, would you say that Southeast collectively, do they have a constitution on how the leadership of Ohaneze and Ndigbo should be produced? All right, 0809 888895. Comrade Jeremiah Corey says Ndigbo must learn to respect their elders. the concept of Igbo should be jettisoned. Young Igbos have the bad habit of insulting their elders in the name of politics. On the Facebook live stream, we have Maxwell Evaristo Sekene, who says, good morning. The problem of Igbo nation is that we lack a common front, and without this, we cannot achieve our collective goal of leading this country. We are talking about 2023 presidency, and people are busy factionalizing the unity of the nation, the Igbo nation, because of their selfish interests. Igbos must understand themselves to know where they are going to. Okay, everyone wants to be a leader, Igbo, as he said. Ugobandubisi says, Ohaneze and Ndigbo needs competent leaders so as to bring about the development we need. Bishop Ernest Ugoke says, good morning. For me, Ohaneze has not really done much, but still they have tried somehow. Uchenna Melody Abugu says, there are different voices because we have a wide gap of communication between the leaders and the led in Igbo land. Our leaders are far away from us. That is why we don't even vote. Okay, back here in the studio we have Dr. Nnamdi Okenwa, Senior Lecturer, Mass Communication Department, ESUT, and a Public Affairs Analyst. Also we have Chukwuma Ephraim Okenwa, Executive Director, Lead Network. All right, so let me begin with you, Dr. Okenwa. The contributions so far, I remember Nana said that Ndigbo needs a masquerade. I know that tickled your fancy when he said that.
Not just a masquerade, a big masquerade.
Okay.
When a big masquerade enters the market square, the small masquerades clear the square. One thing about the Igbo man, if you want to be bigger than another Igbo man, be very much bigger than him. In every aspect, he will bow for you. But if he sees any area where he's better than you, he will keep pulling you. People are talking about replacing Nyanwodo. Nyanwodo was my contemporary at Ibadan. He has always been a vibrant person. He was the first Igbo person who became a president of the union in Ibadan. Yoruba girls, Yoruba boys voted for him because he was the man to beat. He has not lost that flavor. He's still there. He's not a poor guy. He's not a poor guy. And he's a very intellectual person. And politically, he's aligned well. He can give us direction. He has more understanding than most people now who are scratching at the issue and want to have a say. When we put them now in the limelight, they will have nothing to offer.
Another challenge pointed out by one of the callers is politics. Where do you draw the line between politics and the main vision of the group, which is a social cultural group?
No, let's get it clear. There's politics in everything. There's politics in the home. There's politics in the school. Anywhere politics dies, then that thing is dead. Oh, it's a political organization. It's a pressure group. When you begin to demand for what you should get naturally, you're involved in politics. So for us to say, let us remove politics, let them face culture, and no. It's much more than that. Even culture, which is a dynamic thing, it's a political thing. So you find that we saying, look, don't talk about politics unless you start talking about masquerades and the rest of the and marriage festivals. That's where you come in. No, that's not their role. Their role is to speak for the people. They stand on, like I said, my initial word was to have a voice, give the people a voice. So let the people's views, let their fears be heard. If they want to praise, let their praises be heard. But somebody should do the speaking. Somebody who stands out. And luckily, Nyanwodo is not short. He's quite tall. He has the charisma to move people along. I believe in him. He's a good guy. If you stay with him, you can't fault him. If you want to fault him, stay far away. That's what most people are doing. That's what people are doing. So the question is not that we don't have a good leader, but there are people who are full of aspirations. And most times when people are clamoring for aspiration, they bring a lot of reasons that may not stand the test of research if you want really to prove what they're saying.
All right, Dr. Kenwa said, give the people a voice. And from what somebody said on the Facebook page, it says, it's not just about the leaders leading. What about the led? How much opportunity are you giving to them to be carried along? We call it Ohaneze. So how can the people be mobilized better to give them that voice?
Yeah, let me first appreciate that for you to be the leader at any point in time, you are certainly not the smartest, or the richest, or the strongest,
or the best,
or the best. Thus, the need for a support system, it's advocated for. And of course, like the way it's there when you have the Odura People's Congress, it's not as if to say it's the traditional rulers that are leading, but they are giving that traditional support. You could know that the royal fathers are there, they have their hands. You could see the governors also from the political standpoint and their representatives training their weight. You could also see like their business moguls, those with financial muscles, standing out to support activities, to push the agenda and all the rest. So I think one of the things we need to begin to have as a people in Igbo land is the need to support our own. If you have the money, you bring in the money. You have the political strength like the governors, you understand? I mean, it's high time for the governors in the southeast, to appreciate that they are actually elected, not appointed. Sometimes it does appear that they are scared if they talk too much. They will be removed the next morning. They are not appointees, for crying out loud. They are elected with the full executive powers. Even if you challenge the president, he doesn't have the right to go against you, right? I mean, in terms of like removing you. So you should be able to like speak with that political sagacity of someone that is elected by his people. You should be able to have a voice, not an echo of your real self. And once our people begin to understand that, I think having like someone like Inyawo there, if all the leaders in the southeast, both the traditional, but the elders, the elites, and all the rest of it, if can align with this vision, build a common front, I am sure that we are going to matter in the political space.
Oh, you're listening to Political Voices on 92.5 Enugu Stream FM, unfolding developments in Ohaneze and Ndigbo, the issues. On the Facebook live stream, Marcella Nechi, who joined from Obabinimbo, says, good morning. Okay, Ohaneze and Ndigbo for a long time now has been an umbrella body that should continue to speak for Igbo people in Nigeria. But if you ask me whether they are doing that or not, your guess is as good as mine. I don't know whether Ohaneze and Ndigbo is now constituted for selfish reasons, though some of them are trying to speak for us, the Igbo people, but some are just there to grab money from the politicians and do what they are asked to do. All right, and here on the Facebook live stream we have Desmond Bliss Ilabuchi, who says, good morning. We have different voices because Ohaneze and Ndigbo has failed our people. Okoro Emmanuel says, Ohaneze and Ndigbo has become a political party and its members are there for their pockets and not for the interest of Ndigbo. Well, we are not aware they registered as a political party. INEC has not told us that. Well, that's your perception. He says, I grew up to hear that name and up till now, I have not seen any positive effort they have made. I think Igbos should look for another social, political or cultural group to lead them. All right, 0809-8888-925. Thank you for joining us on Political Voices. Good morning.
Hello, good morning. Ezinne.
What's your name, sir?
My name is Chinedu. I'm calling from Kogi State.
Go ahead, Chinedu.
Yeah. Okay. I think the analysts they are trying a lot. The only thing I want to chip in here, based on that of the Ohaneze and Ndigbo, led by Aninwe, is that they are too political. Okay, looking at what happened in 2019, when we had the endorsed Atiku Abubakar to be the president. So he was not even able, though the doctor there is a kind of telling us that he is vibrant, that he is capable, and is good to go. But what I observed then is that he was not even able to convince his inner circle as an executive schools to the extent that they have faction within themselves. So somebody that was unable to convince those that is working with to carry people along, to talk more of carrying the whole people of Igbo. So here I am in Kogi State, serving in Kogi State. I am not comfortable with the way we are being. Sometimes I used to engage in conversation with people here, And I know how they used to do. They used to abuse us, telling us that we're not even organized to achieve that our goal. So, my own understanding, I think those actions that are coming up now, you can still try them as well. Now that you have access to somebody, as in, say you live with him in a battle and you know how it used to be. Try others. There are some other people that will be even better than me.
All right.
So that's what I have.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your contribution, Chinedu. On the Facebook live stream, we have Ovuna Declan, who says, I think it may be difficult to bring unity in Southeast as Igbo extraction until when God will give us credible leaders with a united mind, because our problem is that every average Igbo man believes that he can achieve his or her aim without the help of the brother, and we are always on an easy side to betray ourselves at any moment of time. All right. And this one is from Judy, who says, good morning. I beg to differ with Dr. Kenwa, and I believe it's a fallacy to say that the Ndigbo does not have enough educated traditional rulers. I come from Anambra State, and there are many educated traditional rulers in Anambra State aside Obi of Onitsha. More importantly, majority of the emirs in the north are not educated. There are more educated traditional rulers in the southeast than there are educated ones in the north. Okay, Uchenna Neke, thank you for your contribution. All right, Comrade Jeremiah, we've taken your contribution before now. Let's take one or two calls. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Welcome. What's your name, sir?
This is Emeka from Anambra State.
Emeka, go ahead.
Issue of talking about Ohaneze and Co. Representatives of Igbos. You know, the Igbos say, okay, I don't know, but if you agree with me, you and I know what is actually happening in our country, Nigeria. Okay, issue of this man taking a Ndigbo here. Any state to the one, every day on every Ndigbo about it has been going on for long. You see, I don't care. Even if you go to heaven and they get educated, highest university in the whole world, what I want to know about your activities. I mean, how you protect your people. I want to say that if it is over there in North, I mean, you're a leader, and people are really, okay, I'm not going to before you. The people will go after you. People have been, without a man, I'm telling you, after you, other person is man that have seen physically, both mentally, both everything.
All right, then. Thank you very much, Emeka. For want of time, we need to round off at this point. I know this conversation would continue beyond today. Yes, because we're also going to find ways to hear from the horse's mouth, like we say. Now, CEO, in sociology, there are theories. Functionalism theory. There is the conflict theory proposed by Karl Marx. They call it Marxist. And some people say that conflict is functional to the point that it could bring up issues that need to be addressed. It could be pointing to some things that are not right that need to be addressed. So do you see good coming out of this recent split in Ohaneze and Ndigbo?
Yeah, I see it because, of course, it's like a mirror back to the current leadership of Ohaneze and Ndigbo. Because as long as we are concerned as Igbos, we only know one platform. The other group should be ignored. However, I think it's high time that the Inyao-led faction should look within, find out like where they are not meeting up, some of the concerns that have been expressed here. They have not been as vocal or as proactive in terms of issue of security, in terms of issue of attacks and all the rest, and being able to like harmonize the Igbos. I think a lot more should be done in that regard. But as at now, let all Igbos please align with the authentic faction. Let's see how to build our land.
Well, speaking of security, I'm aware that sometime in February there was a meeting held by the Apex Igbo Socio-Cultural Organization Ohaneze and Ndigbo to address the issue of insecurity in the zone. I recall that vividly. Okay, finally, Dr. Kinwa.
Well, you see, I know why these clamorings are on. The leadership of Ohaneze has stayed for a long time. It will not be out of place if there is a change. It will not be out of place. Like my brother said, nobody is the best. Nobody is the best. It is possible there would have been there could be somebody around or even within the body of the Ohaneze now who could do well enough also. So if they make room for a change, at some point, somebody who is in the race should be tired. If you're tired, let somebody help you. I think that's a better way to address it rather than clamoring as if there's a fight in it.
Thank you so much for coming on Political Voices today, Dr. Nnamdi Okenwa, Senior Lecturer, Mass Communication Department, ESUT, and Public Affairs Analyst. It's been a pleasure having you.
Thank you very much, Ezinne.
We also thank you, Chukwuma Ifrem Okenwa, CEO, Executive Director of Lead Network. Many thanks for coming.
Thank you so much.
And thank you to Alex, the TriCaster, for making sure we're live on Facebook, 925 Dream FM, Twitter handle at Dream925FM. Join us on YouTube. You should go there and subscribe. Click on the notification button. I mean Dream TV Enugu. A big thank you to my producer Oke Odogu, and thank you as well to my production assistant Lotan Okereke. My name is Ezinne. Stay for the news at 10 on 92.5 Enugu's Dream FM, and Political Voices returns tomorrow 9 a.m.
Thank you.